others that say you're supposed to say Yechi, you're supposed to say a message to the world and so on. So their question is, in a way, it's a little bit of a weaker question. Because you're asking, why did Chassidim do what the Rebbe wants exactly? Unfortunately, there are many things the Rebbe asks Chassidim to do, and Chassidim don't do that. The Rebbe wants all the Chassidim to speak Yiddish at home. The Rebbe spoke about it a few times. The Rebbe wants everyone to speak Yiddish in their homes, the husband and wife, and the children. And unfortunately, most Chassidish families, even Chassidish families, do not do so. Yeah, when the kids are babies, they say, Kum da, and you say, have to use Yiddish. But after he grows up, most kids don't know Yiddish anymore. So why Chassidim didn't do something is not always a proof that it's wrong, that there's not, you shouldn't be doing it. So those that say you're supposed to say Yechi, they have the Sikhe from Beis Nissen, where it's created as an inyan to say Yechi, to be machriz. Achroza means bapashtus, calling out, and they have the fact that from Chavzai Noder the Rebbe was mu'aided it, and therefore they say that's the thing that's supposed to happen, and that's why. So it's an inyan that the Rebbe was mu'aided. It's in Mechlal the Rebbe always talks about. Not always, the Rebbe mentioned a few times that the last sichos of the Frierdiker Rebbe, the last 2 years, those sichos are we have to have the biggest koch in those 2 years, and that's the last message that the Frierdiker Rebbe gave over to us. So these Siddim understand that the last message that we have from the Rebbe is that the sichos of the Tafshin Aleph from the base is all about Mashiach, and on Gimel and the Dal, the Rebbe was Mu'aydid Yechi, so that's the last message. We have to continue doing that. We have to say it ourselves after davening. We have to teach it to others, and so on. That's the way they understand. That's one kav. I think it's pretty. Their opinion is very, very clear. There's another question you have on them, which is Gimel Tammuz. Gimel Tammuz, a pashtus al pi halachas istalkus, which is another topic. Shlita Ziyah. That wasn't the question. We're not going to go there tonight. But Chalifin. So by them they'll say Svataka Gimel Tammuz happened, but Afal Bichain this Inyan and Avodah V'chi Melech applies now as well. And the pashtus also, this is again, there's many nuances, many details of how to argue and say your opinion. But some people say that Yechi Melech and not Yechi Adonai, whatever. That's already most people don't go for that. That's usually in the same category, and therefore they say the Rebbe says Yechi Melech, Yechi Adonai, the same thing. That's why we say it now as much as we can. That's one opinion. The other extreme opinion says that you see that Chassidim, we're not supposed to say it at all. Not to say it at all, not to teach it to others, not to teach it to your children, not to say it at all. What's their cheshvan? Their cheshvan is the fact that we see that from Beis Nissen till Tavshin and Beis, the Chassidim did not say Yechi, they did not sing Yechi at all. You ask a question, what? I can hold the drasha. I'm just the whole thing, okay, I say your opinion. Maybe I'll say what you want to say also. So in those years, the Chassidim did not say Yechi after davening, did not sing Yechi, and then from Chavzai Noder they were saying Yechi. So they say, these people say that there's many sichos of the Rebbe that the Rebbe said herois and in Yonim that weren't necessarily meant to be turned begashmis. For example, the Rebbe once gave an expression: they have to bang on the bima and say Mashiach should come. So these people say, do you see Chassidim going around walking and banging on the bima the whole time? Some now excuse the bang, yeah. Rebbe said the bang. Obviously, it's an expression, it's an inyan. So Daka, there's inyan of achros of Yechi, but it's an inyan of avodah. It's not a thing that you're actually supposed to say it and call out and scream it. That's not. And the facts are that Chassidim never would go out and scream and say things. That wasn't our way of doing things. Chabad is more of an as Chacham ben Adah, so to speak. And Chabad is more an avodah pnimis, and this was never a thing. From Chavzai Noder till Gimel Tammuz, the Rebbe was Mu'aydid Yechi. So this they have different ways of answering it, and one of the ways that they want to say is that was a special Eis Rotze. Eis Rotze means it's an opportune time, that at this time, because there was such a koch and Golem Mashiach, so here the Rebbe was saying you should be mu'aydid it, you should sing Yechi and it's attack Evachayis. But once Gimel Tammuz happened, so we lost that Eis Rotzin. This is their opinion. I'm not saying what I agree, disagree, I'm saying this is their opinion. So once the Eis Rotzin is over, now there's Eis Talkus. And now already the whole point of Yechi HaMelech is to be Meisif Chayis. And if there's Eis Talkus, you can't be Meisif Chayis and Eis Talkus. Akaponim the Chayis Gashmis, that what it seems to be trying, which Yechi HaMelech is meant to be Meisif Chayis Gashmis as well. So therefore, they say there's no point to do so. And then they add another cheshvan that a lot of people get turned off because of Yechi. A lot of people, that's what they claim. And therefore, the whole purpose of Chassidus, of the Rebbe's Shlichus, the Ring Mashiach, is Afotzas Hayadas, Afotzas Hamayonis, to make people be interested in Chassidus. And when you say Yechi, you're pushing people away. So therefore, we're not supposed to do it. It was basically never done. And that's why we don't do it either today. Regarding that one occurrence of Tesvavi or Tavshin Aleph, so they probably say that it was also part of the special Eis Rotzin that wasn't really, can't be really explained. So that's their opinion. And then there's I would say again, a middle opinion, which is the middle opinion has many, again, different opinions within itself. And this opinion is is that Yechi is a holy thing. And wherever it makes sense, so to speak, it could be said, and let it be said. And the places where it cannot be said, it shouldn't be said. And he says it is a holiness to it, and there's a depth to it, but it doesn't have to necessarily be by screaming it out loud and saying it after davening. It's an avodah which, when the Rebbe said the achroza, the Rebbe didn't say when to be machros. The Rebbe said there's an element of achroza Yechi HaMelech. So you can do it just like we scream Avayu Elikim, we scream on the Yom Kippur. So you say Yechi at special times. Who said 3 times after davening? I was once in 770 and a guy was davening after davening. He said Yechi 1 time. And then, 770 after every minyan, people say 3 times. So people are waiting. No. So I say only 1 time. So I think to myself, Taki, why 3? Why not 1? Who said? There's no Indian of 3 times. Shalom Aleichem is 3 times. Who said? Or maybe do 7 times because Avayu Elikim also. There's no clothing. It's hargation. So there's upset over here in these agation of how often to say it, when to say it, not to say it. That's already upset. It could be, so to speak. You can discuss it, but they believe that it's an emes Indian, but it doesn't have to be pushed in somebody else's face. There's also when I was a bachur in yeshiva, so my mashpia in the yeshiva, so there were a number of bachur that would say Yechi after davening. So one of the bachurim that would say Yechi was a chsiddush bachurim. He would wake up early every morning, learn extra chsiddush, and daven very nicely. And after davening, he would say Yechi. So whenever that bachurim would say Yechi, the mashpia would answer after. And then there was another bachurim, it was shtikul yukul. He was sleeping every day, and he'd come rolling for shachas in the middle of shachas, and Rabbi was filling in the middle of tefillah, but just scream Yechi also. So when that bachurim said Yechi, the mashpia's face would darken in anger. Like he was so upset. He didn't answer, he was upset at him also. Like you're saying Yechi, you're making a joke out of it. Agav, a story I like to say is that there was we have over here by the Chadoidi, so we let the Bachrim do what they want. So there are years that the Bachrim dance Yechi for a minute or 2, sometimes for 5 or 10 minutes. In all the years, only one Shliach ever came to me and told me to stop Yechi. And that was the Shliach that we had, that was the biggest Yechinat that we ever had ever. The biggest guy was the biggest Koch in Yechi we ever had. He was the only one that came to stop. Why? Because he told me, by you guys letting do whatever they want, you're making a joke out of it. Yechi is a holy thing. Let them then dance for the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, just having fun now. That's degrading Yechi. In a way, he's very right. Because it's another fun time to just dance and have a party. So you're not giving it the honor that it deserves. So he said, no, make it a system. It should be 3-4 minutes, whatever is normal, and not more than that. So there is an element of, when people that believe in Yechi, they don't like it, so to speak, when people that are just making a joke out of it. A Bach is looking to scream things, whatever, so that's why he's just screaming out. Another story is that there was one time, it was in a minyan, and there was an older chassid that was there, and somebody, after davening, screamed out, Ad Mosai. So a guy in the back started yelling, who's barking over there? So the guy who's saying Yechi didn't speak Yiddish, so he asked me, what's that guy saying? So I told him, he's saying, who's barking? So what, if I'm not saying Yechi, I'm just saying Ad Mosai. So I explained to him that the difference you have to understand. By Chassidim, it's not about what you're announcing. By Chassidim, for Amol, the whole concept of screaming and chanting slogans is a very foreign concept. In Chabad, there was no such thing. Even davening and clapping your hands and your fingers and clapping by Shon Esrei, by Chabad Chassidim was frowned upon. We were not into that. We always wanted Aveda Pnimis. It was a very important thing that people shouldn't see what we're doing. So the concept of chanting and making slogans for adults, for children, is different. For children, Adrab, Psukim, rallies 100% because the child is not shaykh to more than that. But for adults to go and make, or a Bachim to make chanting slogans, they couldn't handle it. They mamish didn't accept it. So that's why for him, for this older chassid, Shemi Yechi and Ad Mosai and Shema Yisrael is all. What are you chanting slogans for now? They don't need the whole concept. But the Rebbe says achroza. Achroza Pashto is a proclamation. Huh? Say this. So when the pasuk says to say, so you say so. And even that, there was one time there was a chassid at Bechol Dvorkin. He was once davening by Chazan Shabbos, and in the middle of Nakdishach, he started crying Nakdishach. He was the Chazan. So there's Al Moshe Yitzchaki, he was another chassid, and he called out, Zarazev, what's like? What are you showing off that you're crying over here? It was in the middle of the davening, so by Chassidim was such a concept. So so that's a number of the back and forth of what to do. These are some of the opinions. Like I said, there's many other differences of opinions back and forth in both ways, but this is more or less what I have to say on the matter. Yes, Levi?
Oh, no, whatever. In the beginning, you said, what's it called? That they teach their kids not to say Yechi. No, they don't teach their kids anything about Yechi. So some people teach their kids specifically not to say Yechi. But those are more the people who just want to cause trouble.
It's your opinion.
Yeah.
Again, I want to conclude by saying that Shivim Ponim LaTorah and Talmid Rabbi Akiva, There's a famous sikh of the Rebbe that I would say that the majority of people really want to do what the Rebbe wants. So even people that strongly disagree with your opinion, you should honor them and respect them, because they're people that want to do what the Rebbe wants, are not going to go against the Rebbe. Which what bothers me always, when I was a Vach in 770, so I had two friends. One was in one extreme, one in the other extreme. So one of them asked me if I go to the oil. So one that was a big meshachist, so to speak. If I go to the oil, I said, yeah, I go to the oil. I said, but make sure that you know Shlita, you know the Rebbe is alive, and you can go to the oil. The other guy was a very big, not negative person. He said, I don't care if you say Shlita, as long as you go to the oil. Each one has like what they want to do. But these two people, they couldn't talk to each other. And unfortunately, there are a lot of, that's not a secret, there are a lot of people that don't talk to each other in Chabad. And the reason is because they honestly think that the other guy is going against the Rebbe, doesn't care about the Rebbe. The way Bachram talk about Tzfas in Detroit, let's say, the two extremes, so to speak. The way the Tzfas Bachram talk about Detroit Bachram, the Detroit Tzfas Bachram, you think they're talking about people that are against the Rebbe Mamish. And I think that's terribly wrong. Because both Bachram and both yeshivas really want to do what the Rebbe wants. Just, they're taught differently, they understand differently. Yeah?
It's not Tzfas, it's Rishon.
Huh? So the Bachram talk about Rishon is that was that.
What about all the flagship?
That's a different discussion. Yeah?
Back to